they don't actually mean well. They know exactly what they're doing. You are just teaching them that they can keep doing it with minimum consequences and maximum support for them to continue to keep doing it. The more you make excuses for people to treat you in ways that you do not want to be treated, the more excuses that you make for them, the more you assume that they don't know what they are doing, the higher likelihood that they're going to keep doing it, because you have given them the benefit of assumption and no requirement to truly change because you're still here. You're still here. It is very rare that somebody does something to you and they do not know what they did. The only time this happens is when you have specific desires and expectations that you don't necessarily communicate, or when somebody just lacks self-awareness. But in those relationships, especially romantic relationships, where you have told this person that X, Y, and Z hurts you and they continue to do it, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. You are just not putting any sort of expectation for them to be self-aware about it, so that way they keep it at the forefront of their minds. And you have not provided a boundary or a consequence that follows that in a manner that shows that you value this boundary, that you value yourself, that you value your safety, like your emotional safety, your well-being, etc. When people do not experience consequences for their actions, they will repeat it. They just will. It's the human nature. So the assumption that this person that you're in a relationship with just doesn't know, like they don't understand because, their grandma died, because their mom wasn't in their life. That's not real. That is not real. Like, we have to, when you get to the point, I remember I was in a relationship that was off and on for 3 years. And I kept saying I don't understand. I thought he was such a good person. And then one day I just realized you know what? He has to know what he's doing. I have told him on multiple occasions, there's no way, unless he is developmentally delayed, there's no way that he is not grasping this concept. And then years later, when I spoke to him, or a year later, when I spoke to him, he was like, yeah, I just didn't have the capacity to do what you wanted, but I also didn't want to lose you. People know what they're doing. Stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. If they meant well, they would do well. Because when you mean well, when you have intentions to do well, what do? You do well. You treat people well. It's not like everybody else lacks the capacity to be emotionally intelligent, or everybody else lacks the capacity to be aware of how they treat people. Nobody, you're not the only person on earth who knows how to be kind. So why don't you expect that level of kindness and thoughtfulness and compassion and prioritization that you give to everybody else for people to give to you? Why do you think that you're the only person that understands how to love, care, and value other people? Think about that. If you wouldn't do it to them, why would you accept them doing it to you?